Okay, let's take a look at the scrolls. So the first one that is opened, and it says, I watched as the Lamb opened the first of the seven seals. Then I heard one of the four living creatures say in a voice like thunder, Come. I looked, and there before me was a white horse. So this is not something that God or Jesus are doing. This is something that they are showing us, that we're seeing. I know a lot of people say many different things about it. Generally recognized, the white horse is Satan because he has a crown and he has a bow, because when Jesus comes, he comes with a sword. So the first one that comes out is Satan. And the vision that I saw recently was of waves, like waves crashing over waves. When you have one wave come in, it's kind of a small wave, but then you have a bigger one crash over the top, and a bigger one crash over the top, and a bigger one crash over the top. So these are not things where one thing happens and it stops, and then the next thing happens and it stops, and the next thing happens and it stops. This is where everything is happening on top of each other. So the devil goes out to conquer. And then the second horse, 2017 is when this started, to 2021. And it was just building on the earlier conquest. And then he comes out to take peace from the earth. What have we seen since 2013 to 2021? A massive rise in people killing each other, in people hating each other, in people wanting each other dead, more than I've ever seen in the history of my life. And then the third seal opens, and the third seal is economic failure, is the interest rates so high that people can't afford to buy houses, is that things cost so much. A loaf of bread costs so much, the makings for a loaf of bread cost so much that you can't afford to buy them on a day's salary. If you look right now at the minimum wage in the United States, it is about the same price as a pound of hamburger. So if you think about that, in the United States, we do better than a lot of countries. But over the world, this isn't just about the United States, this is the world. In the world, people are able to afford less and less and less, and everything is getting harder and harder to understand and to afford. And then you get into the fourth seal, and the fourth seal is a quarter of the earth will die from sword, famine, plague, and wild beasts of the earth. I thought about this one a lot. So, sword, obviously in those days they didn't have guns, so a sword could be any form of warfare, or people being killed because of, of war, of civil unrest, of whatever, any way that people are killed by means of sword, guns obviously that they've never seen before in the early ADs. And then wild beasts of the earth. Well, I mean, maybe the wild beasts of the earth. Why would they include wild beasts of the earth? My thought is robots. I think that robots are going to be put in place to help to keep down the people who turn against the kings, the ones that are going to be ruling the earth. The fifth seal, it doesn't talk about anything bad happening. It doesn't talk about any wrath being poured out. It doesn't talk about anything except for the blood of the saints being the people who believe in God, the people who believe in Jesus, and that survive through all of this, still believing and still following him. And then the sixth seal opens, and the sky turns to black sackcloth, and the earthquake and all this other stuff. And then the seventh seal is the rapture. So if you look at all these things, you will see that this is all the coming up to the tribulation period. This is all the terrible things that are going to happen before the tribulation happens. the seventh seal opens the wrath of God. Because at this point, so many of his saints have been killed, so many have been destroyed, that he pours out his anger on those that killed them, on those that stood against his people, on those that persecuted them and killed them and treated them badly.